Oh, hey, didn't see you there. I was just doing some research on how remote closings are going to disrupt the real estate industry in 2023. All right, before we go forward, I think we need to go backward a little bit. In North Carolina, e-closings have been possible, I think since 2016, it might be 2015. So meaning none of the documents were physical, they were all electronically signed, they were all electronically notarized, and then they were all electronically recorded. So where most critics of the North Carolina process may have, they may have a point, is that the North Carolina law for e-notary still required the physical presence of the notary with the signer. So fast forward to COVID-19 and pandemic era closings. North Carolina enacted the Emergency Video Notarization legislation. So that would allow a person to be signing a document physically in front of them by video with the notary watching them sign. So you still go through all of the elements of identifying the person, looking at the ID. There's lots of different elements to make the Emergency Video Notarization effective, including special language in the notary acknowledgement that the notarization was performed by Emergency Video Notarization. Now, that statute or that temporary measure lapsed, I think, twice, but then new legislation was also signed into law. So it's entirely new law, making permanent remote notarization possible. So that's North Carolina General Statute 10B-134. The law will essentially take effect July 1st, 2023, and this is going to allow the notary and the signer to not be in the same room. It's digital. So rather than sitting, at your computer watching someone sign a physical document, then mailing you the physical document, you physically notarizing the physical document because you watched them sign it electronically, and then having it recorded. The entire process will be facilitated by technology. So the notary will watch the signer sign a digital document, so digital signature on a digital document with a digital notary stamp, and in the case of a closing, a digital recording. So there's never a physical piece of paper going back and forth between the parties. It's all happening in real time through recorded video between the parties that can then be saved to refer back to in case the notarization is ever challenged or the authenticity of the document is ever challenged. So that's kind of how we got here. Let's talk about how this is going to change the way we do closings in North Carolina. Electronic notarization eliminates the need for any physical documents. So the lender and the closing attorney, they will have all of the documents electronic. They can be delivered to the signers ahead of the signing appointment for review, giving ample time to ask questions. And in a demo that I saw a few years ago from one of these companies that has the technology, one thing that I think will be really helpful and good for the consumer and good for anybody involved in the process is that it will allow the attorney or the lender or anyone that has an explanatory role in the process to tag documents with explanations, so giving plain language explanations of a deed or a deed of trust, and in some cases even attaching a video like this one, albeit much shorter, saying this is what a deed is or this is what your escrow account is. So I think that will help more borrowers and more sellers understand what they're signing before they actually sign. So then when you get to the signing appointment, you don't have to physically drive anywhere. You can take the appointment from wherever you may be. If you're lucky enough to be on a beach on your closing day, great, prop your feet up, maybe hold off on the margaritas until you've closed, but you can be wherever you need to be and you can electronically sign. If you've ever done anything with electronic signatures, you know that it's much faster than pen in hand physically signing the entire loan package. So I think that that's going to help the closing appointment. It's also going to reduce post-closing errors. So it is entirely possible that, a signature line may, if your name, like mine, is Tiffany A. Weber and it says Tiffany B. Weber and nobody catches that before the closing, well, that's a post-closing error that has to be corrected. This will significantly reduce or eliminate a lot of those errors because the signature can only be applied a certain way. I do see that there may be some challenges because you can't have an e-closing if the lender doesn't want you to. So if the lender doesn't offer e-closings, then you're not going to be able to do that. So you'll have to do some digging to determine if it's available. But I do see that, what's probably going to happen is first, more lenders will allow hybrid closings as they get more comfort with the technology. And then within a few years, the majority of closings will be happening electronically. You know, as a client, I imagine that you may not want to do an e-closing. So if you still want to come sit at our table, we're happy to see you. But if you want to do it electronically, we're gearing up to have the technology available that you can be sitting on that beach while you close. All right, that's my take on electronic closings and how it's going to change how we do things in North Carolina. I am interested. I want to hear what you think. So comment below, would you rather have a closing in person where everyone's sitting there with you and the notary is with you and the attorney is with you, or would you rather just see all those people by video and close it electronically? Let me know in the comments below. I'll see you in the next video.